Hey, Adam Hooksma here from ProjectionHub. So I was an SBA lender for 12 years, made over 1,500 SBA loans during my time as executive director of an organization called Bankable. And now today I own ProjectionHub, where we help clients prepare financial projections, business plans, and ultimately walk through that SBA loan process. Today I want to talk about how to refinance a seller note with an SBA loan. If you are looking to acquire a business and you're going to use seller financing to do that, or maybe you have already acquired a business using a seller note and you're hoping to pay that seller note off with an SBA loan, there's some very specific details you need to know. And ideally, hopefully you are watching this video before you've already, acquired the business using seller financing so that you can set it up correctly at the beginning and give yourself the best shot at refinancing with an SBA loan later. So we're going to go straight to the SOP, the standard operating procedures that the SBA puts together. You can download this as a Word document. I'm going to pull it up now here. So if you need some reading to put you to sleep at night, this very long SOP document, 420 pages it looks like, will do the trick. But what I want to look at here specifically today is debt used to finance a change of ownership for a going concern business. So this says to be eligible for refinancing, any seller finance note must have been in place and current, not on standby, so we'll get into that, for at least 24 months following the change of ownership. So just to be clear, let's say you find a business that you want to buy. Let's say maybe the business does not qualify for an SBA loan. The reason it might not qualify for an SBA loan right now is because maybe it's not profitable enough to cash flow the loan. And so a common strategy there could be, okay, let's use seller financing, and in a couple years we'll build up the profitability, and then we can refinance or pay off the rest of the seller note with an SBA loan in the future. So that's a common thing that folks will try to do. It is an okay strategy, but you got to set it up correctly. So the key things here, it needs to be in place for 24 months. So you need to have acquired the business and then have a 24-month loan where you're making regular payments on that loan for 24 months. It can't be on standby, meaning you have to be making interest and principal payments each month for those 24 months. And you have to be current on that. And then the refinancing request must meet the SBA 10% improvement to installment payment amount requirement in this below paragraph. So the trick here is that SBA wants any refinancing to have an improvement to cash flow of 10% or more. So what you need to do here, and the way you need to set up that seller note from the beginning, you need to make sure that when you refinance with an SBA loan, the SBA loan would have a longer term or a lower interest rate so that your monthly payment would be at least 10% less. So what you don't want to do is set up a seller note with a 15-year term, because in a couple years, when you're ready to refinance, the typical SBA acquisition loan is typically 10 years or potentially less, but 10 years is kind of a standard. And so if you started with a 15-year loan, you paid on it for 2 years, you've got 13 years left, you want to use a 10-year term SBA loan to pay that off. The payment on the SBA loan, because it's a shorter term, 10 years versus 13, is actually likely to be a larger payment. It's not going to decrease by 10%. It's not going to improve that installment payment amount by 10%. So what I would suggest is give yourself some wiggle room, probably make that a seller note 7 years, 8 years, something like that, so that you'll pretty clearly have an improvement to cash flow when you refinance that seller note over a 10-year term with an SBA loan. So that's the way you want to set it up in order to make sure that you have a chance at being eligible. Now, if you've already purchased a business with seller financing and you have not followed this already, I would suggest, talk to a lender, but I think your best bet, if you want to use SBA financing, your best bet's probably going to be start the clock as soon as possible, start on regular payments. You got to make payments for 24 months, and then you'll be eligible to apply for an SBA loan. The other alternative, you're already down the path and you've done seller financing, and now you don't want to wait another 24 months. You might talk to the lender about traditional financing, just using a traditional bank loan, not an SBA loan, which could be more flexible and wouldn't have this particular requirement. So I hope that's been helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at support@ProjectionHub.com. And again, we help folks create financial projections and business plans that are going to be required if you're looking to acquire a business. And so feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to help you with that. We've got an acquisition projection template that could be useful in your acquisition application. So we'll put a link to that in the description of the video below so you can grab that. If you like the video, if you found it valuable, please give us a like, like and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be doing a lot more content related to SBA lending and projections and business planning for the SBA process. And so your support would mean a lot. All right, thanks.